Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have some Wizarding World related news, and not just one, but a couple things. So think of this as a Wizarding World news roundup. So let's just jump right into it. So the very first thing is actually of today, October 29th, and this comes from Comic Book. It says, Fantastic Beast star thinks we've seen the last of Newt Scamander on the big screen. Actually, I want to play the clip for you because I think it sounds a lot better than listening to me read out loud for you. So here we are. This is Eddie Redmayne right here as Newt Scamander.
Wanted to ask, do you think fans have seen the last of Newt Scamander yet?
I think they probably have, yeah.
Oh.
That was a very frank question, Frank. But yeah, it was. I that's as far as I know. I mean, you'd have to speak to the people at Warner Brothers and J.K. Rowling, but as far as I know, that's yeah. Yeah, he's. I think he may come back in a glimpse in the Universal world in Florida that they're opening up, in which you may catch a glimpse of what he was up to in Paris. But yeah.
Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so.
All right, so there you have it. I did want to share that because we already knew this like a year ago or 2 years ago at this point, that there were no plans to continue. Technically speaking, there was always supposed to be 5 movies and we only got 3, and the last 2 didn't do all that well, so you know. But this really does confirm that Fantastic Beasts good and dead, especially when it comes to Eddie. Now, Eddie did film stuff at Universal Studios Orlando for Epic Universe, but I believe he filmed the stuff during the Secrets of Dumbledore stuff, which was filmed years ago because the last movie came out in 2022. That's just one thing for you guys. Let me know your thoughts below, by the way, for Eddie and Fantastic Beasts. So the next thing I want to talk about was something that at first I thought was going to be super duper exciting, and that is the music of Harry Potter. All 8 movies. Now, if you didn't know, there is an actual complete John Williams collection soundtrack that was released years ago that has all the scores of the original CDs, plus tracks that were never released, plus tracks that were used for the trailers and like different versions of certain tracks. And honestly, it's worth the bang for buck. It's pretty expensive, but it has everything that you ever heard of Harry Potter. Like, even the music in the Leaky Cauldron is featured there. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's phenomenal. So then when I saw they were releasing a new Harry Potter music soundtrack, I got really excited, and I was really hoping that the music from Goblet of Fire and on would be released, including all the unreleased music, because there's actually tons of it. And the only way you can find those tracks is if you go on YouTube. Somehow somebody released unreleased versions of the track. So let's say like there's a section in Goblet of Fire, I think it's called like the final warning or like a warning, and it's when Harry's about to jump into the maze in the 3rd task. Those tracks, or I should say that track, isn't even in the original soundtrack that has been released since 2005. So almost 20 years ago, and we still don't have those tracks released. So that's why I was like super excited. But if we go to rhino.com, it will show you that there is a Harry Potter the Complete original motion picture soundtrack 1 through 8. And it's 4 different versions, 1 for each house, which is really cool, you know, if you want to get one for Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, you know, it's all very specific and color-coded. But here's the catch. Besides the fact that the $299, so basically with tax and everything, you're looking at least $320. But I do want to talk about this. There is nothing new released, right? Look at this. Side A, Prologue, Harry's Wondrous World, blah, 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 blah. All these tracks have been out since 2001. There is nothing new, not a single track released. Now, it's totally worth it if you've never bought the CDs in your life and you don't own anything. Then I would say, yeah, totally get it. $300 for all 8 CDs. It might be worth it. Do the math if it's cheaper to buy them individually or not. That's up to you. But I do want to laugh at this. Half-Blood Prince Alexander Desplat. I'm assuming that's how you say his name. He is French. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. But that's wrong. Alex composed Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, whilst Nicholas Hooper, right here, did Order of the Phoenix. And they don't even include it here. Look at that. Such a mess up. Wow. Half-Blood Prince Alexander Desplat. They don't even mention Order of the Phoenix composer. They don't even mention Patrick Doyle for Goblet of Fire. So way to go, Rhino. Doing a really good job there. Now, if you're wondering why this is so expensive and so limited, So let me just read you guys this 16 LP box set that's out November 29th, 2024. So literally 1 month from today. They're limited to 3,000 copies. So basically 500 of them each per house, I'm assuming. Looks like it. But again, it's not worth buying, guys. Unless you don't own the music already, because you're not getting anything new and all you do is gain this limited edition version. Which, by the way, I actually do have some fun Harry Potter music collectibles. If you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments below if you're interested in me doing a video solely about the music, because I have at least 2 items that are pretty hard to find. And one of them is the John Williams collection, and I can go into that more in another video. But yeah, so if you plan on buying this, $299. Woo! No thanks. So there's that. I mean, it does look beautiful, but no. Thanks, but no. Unless I get it for free. Alright, now the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is Cursed Child. I know, we're going there, we're doing it, but here we are. So this comes from the Rolling Library, which I always find to be a pretty reliable source. It says, a shorter version of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child lands on Broadway. So, if you didn't know, Cursed Child, in my opinion, is glorified fan fiction. But anyway, let's move on. The magic of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is about to become more concentrated on Broadway as producers announce a new shortened version of the play set to begin performances at the Lyric Theatre on November 12th. The production, which currently runs at 3.5 hours, will be trimmed to just under 3 hours, marking it its 3rd iteration since its Broadway debut in 2018. This latest version follows the show's evolution from its original 2-part, 5-hour format to the single-part production that returned after the pandemic on December 2021. So I just want to point out that we already had like 3 different versions of this play now, after this one. So that's just a fun little fact for you guys. I don't know if you care all that much. I particularly don't give a darn about Cursed Child, but I just thought I'd show you the news for it, that there is a newer version of it, and it makes me wonder, how much is constantly being removed from this play? Because this play is already garbage to begin with. So it's like, how does this story flow? Where's the plot if you're removing all this time in the plot? But anyway, I digress. Alright, so next up is a bunch of news regarding the Harry Potter TV show. So this comes from October 9th, 2024 from That Park Place. And it says, newly announced Harry Potter TV writer Andy Greenwald does not like the idea of a rigorous adaptation of the books and said he has not read the books. So let's just read the actual quote, shall we? Because you never know. He says, these are really, really rich, and they are very long books, especially later in the series. People adore them, and successive generations are discovering them and loving them every day. The stores are packed everywhere they are in the country and around the world. People are buying the chocolate frogs and the hats and the owls, all of it. You can monetize almost every single aspect of it, and they kind of have, which is true. Next, he stated, so the idea of an incredibly rigorous text-to-screen adaptation is, I think, probably a safe bet to be a success. Well, duh, that's literally what fans are asking. They literally say, make a screen-accurate version of the books and you'll be very happy. But then he goes on, says, if something is trumpeting its absolutely rock-steady faithfulness, I think the pleasures that can be derived from that are probably not going to be for me because I didn't read all the books. I read them to my older daughter until she could read them for herself, and then she dusted me. And I think maybe there's some other creative possibilities within this world, but J.K. Rowling controls all of it and is not going to let anyone else come play with her toys. And that's her right, and obviously very profitable for her. So that's what we get. I'm sorry, if you've not read the books, why the hell are you a part of this team? Why is J.K. Rowling allowing this to happen? If you've not read the books, you should not be a part of this team. Maybe be like a costume designer or something like that, but you should not be a part of the writing team. At all. And if you got the job, you better have read the books before you even start writing. Like, seriously, who's doing this stuff? This is like for every single IP nowadays. Sky files lawsuit against Warner Brothers for cutting it out of Harry Potter series. Sky has filed a lawsuit against Warner Brothers Discovery for allegedly violating an agreement that gave it the right to co-produce shows, including a Harry Potter TV series. The broadcaster said an agreement had been struck for it to partner Max, formerly HBO Max, on the prequel to J.K. Rowling's books, as well as other shows. Blah, 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 blah. So Sky filed their lawsuit in New York on Friday, according to Financial Times. This read, the loss of the opportunity to partner in funding and production of the wholly unique and irreplaceable Harry Potter series cannot be completely or adequately quantified. Sky did, however, put the figure at hundreds of millions at the very least. The side agreement dates back to 2019 when Warner Brothers was owned by AT&T and gave Sky the chance to co-produce content with what was then HBO Max every year. The deal was signed 1 year after Comcast acquired Sky for £30 billion with a view to creating an entertainment juggernaut that played home to huge series. First of all, I really do need ad block, but basically, it sounds like Sky's very upset that they are not going to play in the sandbox and they're not going to be making a shit ton of money off this show, which, first of all, in my opinion, should never even be existing since Harry Potter literally came out a decade ago. Or like 13 years ago. Then there's more news. Okay, so this comes from IGN, and this is from Jared Harris, who is the son of Richard Harris, who played the original Dumbledore in the first 2 Harry Potter movies. And this is what he said. Harris was asked by The Independent if he was interested in playing Dumbledore in the series, and a nod to his father's starring role in the first 2 Harry Potter films before he died in 2002. No, thank you, Harris said plainly. He then expressed confusion at why the series, currently lacking a release date but already locked in for a 10-year run, was being made at all. I mean, why do we? Harris asked. I don't understand. The films are fantastic. Leave them alone. Which is amazing because now there's even like the actors, like family members are coming out and being like, this is so unnecessary. Why are you doing this? And I'm like, yes, Jared, I agree with you. Why are we doing this? But here we are. And then lastly, this comes from October 21st, 2024, from the Rolling Library. It says, CEO of WB Group, Harry Potter series will be more in-depth than a 2-hour film. And I just want to be like, well, yes, it should be, because you literally have hours upon hours more to flesh out characters, to flesh out the story, literally. Everything will have more in depth to it because that's how a TV show runs. So like them saying this is like, well, that's kind of stating the obvious. Thank you very much. You guys are off to a great start. But here we are. So it says, speaking at MIPCOM C-suite conversations in partner with Variety, Dungy, I'm not really sure how you say her last name, says, or Channing, is Channing like a woman or a man? I'm assuming Channing is a female, but whatever. Anyway. Confirmed that development is progressing well on the project. There's not a lot to talk about at this moment. She stated, it's a woman. We've got a fantastic writing staff in place and they are doing what they need to do. And casting calls have opened up in the UK and Ireland, so the process is moving along. It's going quite well. So there's that. And then it says, it's an unbelievable dream. And as somebody who's a huge fan of the books, the opportunity to get to explore them in maybe a little bit more in depth than you can in just a 2-hour film, that's the whole reason we're on this journey. So I'm very glad that she's a huge fan of the books. I am. That's good. Because we just had the other idiot who's never read the books before, and it's like, oh boy. So, yes, but she's just stating the obvious here, and everyone's like, oh my god! And the obvious, guys. Let's calm down. And then we do have some Lego Harry Potter news. Yes, I know, because I just think it's so funny that we actually have Lego Harry Potter news. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but earlier in the month, they released a Lego Harry Potter remaster of a remaster of a remaster. If you guys remember, in like 2010 and 2011, they released Harry Potter Lego Years 1 through 4, and then subsequently they released Lego Harry Potter 5 through 7. And then they released a combined Harry Potter Lego collection in 2016 for PlayStation 4, and then that was remastered for Xbox One and Nintendo Switch in October of 2018. And now this year in 2024, Steam now has the Lego Harry Potter collection. And so that's kind of like, again, a remaster of a remaster. A remaster. Nothing new is added. They just combined the two games together and they improved the graphics a little bit. But when I watched the comparison video, it's just basically shading and lighting that are somewhat different. If you already have the remastered game on like your PlayStation 4 or your Xbox or your Switch, I don't really think you need to buy the PC version for Steam unless you want to and you want to play on Steam with your friends, because then you can do like the online thing with Steam. Other than that, it's not really worth buying, but I just thought I'd mention it to you guys because I love Lego, and that's why. Now, obviously, there's going to be always tons of Harry Potter news, like merch. There's always new merch coming up. And besides the soundtrack, that was really all I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys really want to stay up to date with merch, just subscribe to all these brands' emails and you'll get like the latest news, like Funko and the Harry Potter shop itself, or Lego. Follow like the Instagram Lego leaks and stuff like that. That's where I get my news. I get my news from other Harry Potter Instagram accounts and things like that. But anyway, I just wanted to share this stuff with you guys. Let me know in the comments below if anything resonates with you or if you have any opinions on any of the topics I discussed. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.